One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory.
And the Millennials, 1981 through 2000. You guys are deemed as America's next best generation.
To the heavens, no man, no weapon.
Did y'all hear me?
Formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground. The camera panned up. King pointed
Somehow
to the
we gotta
mountaintop,
bridge this
and we
gap.
ran up.
This is why this conversation is needed. This is why we're going to talk about it tonight. Now let me introduce you to your panelist. Her name is Ariana Hawk. She's a mother, and you may know her because you saw her beautiful son on the cover of Time magazine. She's a field organizer who works with Color of Change. She's also a community activist who promotes the Black vote, and she is also a water warrior. Ariana believes we have to educate ourselves on issues that affect us. Her motto is, my vote, my voice. Her many actions including shutting down I-69. I swear I think I'm a boss, but that was a boss move. She shut down I-69 in Flint with others to bring awareness back to the water crisis. Ariana is currently precinct delegate for 8th Ward. Give it up, y'all, for my girl, Ariana Hall. Next we have Queen Robin Lee Stampley. Robin was reared in the Chi. She is a mental illness advocate. She is the founder of the first ever Black student union in my college. That deserves a round of applause. Robin is adamant on community issues, and tonight we're going to chop it up with her because we're going to talk mental illness in the Black community. Y'all give it up for Queen Robin Lee Stampley. Next, we have King Dennis Williams Mitchell, a minister, a youth program coordinator who has expertise in mentorship. He is currently pursuing 2 degrees, an associate of applied science, bachelor's in leadership and organizational performance. Williams currently serves on multiple boards within the city. Recently selected as the newest and youngest board member for the Mott Community College Alumni Association Board of Directors. He's determined to teach the youth that it's possible to become young, to be young, saved, wealthy, without compromising our beliefs. After God revealed his purpose, he's dedicated his life to spread the message to young people across the nation. Y'all give it up for King Dennis Williams Mitchell. Next we have Raphael Turner. Raphael Turner served on the Mott Community College Board of Trustees since March 2011. I want to say you're the youngest, right, Raphael? He's the youngest board member. Catch it. He was elected by the board as vice chair in January of 2017. Trustee Turner joined the college with a wealth of experience and diverse professional background in working to assist private, public, and nonprofit organizations in their effort to revitalize urban centers. Trustee Turner is a program officer at the Root Mott Foundation. The foundation is dedicated to cultivating community, vitality, and inspiring hope and pride in Flint. Prior to his work at the foundation, Turner served as a deputy district director in the Office of United States Congressman for Congressman Dale E. Kildee, and as regional director in the Office of United States Senator Carl Levin. Turner worked closely with senator elected officials in both the U.S. office. You guys give it up for King Turner. Raphael Turner. Last but not least, he's sitting next to me, my homeboy, my friend, my brother. I grew up with him. I used to be a dope day nav chick back in the day, but I done turned my life around. I've been delivered. Delivered. The group, the Day Family, is known for their gritty lyrics concerning survival, struggle, and poverty. In 1993, Ira Dorsey and Raheem Peterson met through their younger brothers. The two began writing together and created their first song, Dope, Dope Day Nav. Yeah. Rapper Matt Hinkle soon joined the duo, and the group began working with local producer Steve Pitts and formed the Day Family, named after Dayton Avenue, a street in their hometown of Flint, Michigan. The group released their debut album, What's on My Mind. Day Family cut their teeth in the early 90s as members of an underground rap. They've also always been outspoken and advocate for their hometown of Flint, and over the years, Ira Dorsey has become a pillar of the community. Since the water crisis, Ira has tirelessly sought ways to give back to the city of Flint through water distributions and benefit concerts. He released a song entitled A City of Lead, which went viral. Ira leads Dorsey Community Revitalization, an effort aimed at supporting Flint youth who meets through their potential, true potential. He is a development artist through hip-hop programs that will expose youth who are interested in music business to every aspect of music production. Y'all give it up for living legend, hip-hop legend, Ira Dorsey of the Day Family. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your NextGen 2018 Prosperity Panelists. Let's talk about it, y'all. Know before you go to the polls that will address the social issues that we're standing up against. And I say that because right now, we have witnessed a shooting of an unarmed black man while being in his apartment by a said police officer, and she still has not been properly handled. How important is it that we as a people know before we go to these polls so we can know who we're dealing with, as far as the DAs, the police chief, everybody?
It's very important to know before you go, and what's been said by this panel, to really research the candidates and the issues before you show up at the poll and just blind and not knowing what you're going to do before you go into the voter box. Another thing I wanted to mention, because I mean you were right in naming off all the positions that are up this year here in Michigan, but also there's 3 statewide ballot initiatives that we need to know about and that we should be very concerned about as well when we talk about the social issues, when we start to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the political process. So, you know, one of those proposals is a proposal to amend the state constitution to allow and establish a citizens commission to have the authority to adopt and draw district lines. So not only district lines within the Michigan State House and Senate, but also for our Congress and the U.S. Senate as well. So the representatives that we send to D.C., the representatives that you send to Lansing, having an independent commission do that. Right now, every 10 years after the census, whatever political party is in control is allowed to draw the district lines.
Right.
So you already know the districts that they're drawing is to make more district lines for their political party at the time, and a thing that's called gerrymandering, which many of us are learning about in our classes at Mott right now. We should have learned in high school as well. But let's have another lesson tonight called gerrymandering, of why these individuals who have not 1 ounce of the interest of the folks that are in this room, who can go to Lansing, who can go to Washington, and not deal or care about our issues because they're allowed to draw districts that fit them.
It's not only a lack of exposure, but it's a lack of intimacy. As he said, if you only come around during voting season, election time, they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? So the millennial wants to see you maneuvering through the community. Seeing you at the local barber shops. Seeing you at the car wash. That intimacy, and we're lacking that. I remember it was a time, even me growing up, I would see the pastor in the barbershop. Now you have these mega churches now, and they have 20 bodyguards. So where's the intimacy at?
Right.
You want our vote, and you want us to run behind you, but where's the intimacy?
But I can't walk up in your office and have a conversation about the state of the community.
And to add something to that, if I can, to add something to that, what you were saying, that looking out here, these are the future leaders. We shouldn't be waiting for people to vote for. Y'all should be running for office and getting them seats in the council and those things. Running for mayor and those things. The millennials, y'all run everything. At the end of the day, y'all ain't got to sit around and wait for no older person to come and do it. Y'all can run y'all people that y'all trust, that y'all know.
Absolutely.
What it is, they got to start coming on the ground. They have to start directly talking to people, not sending a PR in their spot to try to get the information. Being here at a small panel or a small town hall just to see people, just to talk to people and give them that room to feel like, okay, I can support this person or I can relate to this person.
Raphael, you look like you had something you wanted to say, and then Dennis, we'll come back to you, Love Bug.
Yeah, I'll add on, just with what Dennis said about the millennials not being able to relate or having information they need or knowing how they connect to the vote. I think one thing, especially in Flint, when we look at the wards that were brought up on the first slide and the wards that you'll be out canvassing in, wards 1 through 5 in North Flint, and those wards were some of the highest lead levels were in the city of Flint during the water crisis. Right. And so, that's number one. To be able to connect to it. And it was people in government during the time that, the water was switched over, that it was not being properly treated. And we're talking, we have a governor's race this year, so from the governor's office on down. So even if you can't, rock with the candidate, or you don't think a candidate is attractive, or they're, showing you the flair that they want, you need to think back to, when that was switched over, who was in power, how did they treat the situation, how transparent were they in coming forward with elevated lead levels in blood. And then think about how that directly impacts us. We're on this panel right now, and everybody has a bottle of water up here, and people, will go home tonight, and when they turn on the tap, not feel comfortable about what's coming out of the tap, even though, once again, they're saying it's safe to drink. And so those were, government decisions that allowed that to happen in this community. And so, if nothing else, that's number one. That's something that impacts us every day. When the tap is turned on in Flint. And who do you want making those decisions? Who can you trust? Who do you think has the values? Who do you think values you? Who values our community? Who values the people and families in this community? And who's going to stand up and fight for what's right, and really put, politics aside, or put, financial gain aside, and really tap in and connect with the lives of the people in the city of Flint.
I want to start by saying, first off, it always makes me feel good when I come to events like this and I see young people engaged in the process and just coming out and getting the information. And at the end of the day, it takes the young people to talk to their friends, because everybody ain't woke. Y'all know that. Everybody ain't woke as y'all are. A lot of people don't come to events like this. So it takes y'all going back, talking to y'all friends and having their friends talk to their friends, and that's how you wake people up. And as it relates to the criminal justice piece, unfortunately, I can say that I've been through every single phase of the criminal justice system from A to Z, from juvenile probation to county jail, boot camp, state prison, federal prison. I've been through every phase of the criminal justice system. And I know that everybody that's incarcerated aren't bad people. Everybody that's in jail ain't bad people. It's just a lot of misguided people. A lot of people that grew up without the right leadership in their households. You know, and just social conditions can lead to that type of thing. And that's why I'm so active right now, trying to catch young guys. You know, I go speak at the regional detention centers to the juvenile offenders, trying to catch them young, to let them know that it's always other options other than, you know, the gang banging and the drug selling and the gun play. And I try to instill in them that everything you hear rappers say ain't real. You ain't gotta try to live your life based on what no rapper tell you to do. You know, and y'all woke, but a lot of people aren't, so they try to live their life based on what a rap artist tell them to do.
Right.
You know, a lot of people think that's real life and it ain't. You know?
Right.
So yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to add on that. I did have the unfortunate run into the law a couple of times, and it's
Not
the
you.
same.
Right.
What you said. The same thing goes for females. There's being in jail, in county jail. It's not everybody in there is a bad person. It's just they made the wrong decisions, and as well as males, you want to make sure females have that right guidance, because it's a lot of times where we as young women don't have those role models. We don't have those people that we can look up to. We don't have those influences in our lives to keep us on the right track. So, you know, whether it be, you know, having the run-ins with the law or, you know, prostitution or what have you, just, it's a big thing to make sure that you not only guide your younger males, but also your millennial females, because we can, as females, we can hold a lot of stuff, but who's gonna hold us?
That's deep.
We can motivate ourselves, but it gets to a point where it might get hard. We might feel like we're motivating too many people. We can motivate someone and make them feel good about themselves, but who's gonna make us feel good about ourselves?
I think the African American community and the Latino community and the Native American community, the minorities, we suffer a lot with mental illness. And to be honest with you, I'm not shocked, because I can't think of a time that I didn't grow up in the hood and hear gunshots, or walk out my front door and see tape wrapped, stretched out around the body, or be at a party and see one of our homeboys or homegirls get their brains blown out. That is traumatic stress. And so a lot of times we grow up and not dealing with those said issues. Being daddyless daughters, being molested, being sexually assaulted, hustling because you the man of the house and you got to provide for your mama. And nobody addresses those issues. And so we just, like Robin said, who takes care of us? We just sweep it up under the rug and next thing you know, we're adding more stress. And before you know it, we're full of anxiety, or we're depressed, or we're schizophrenic because we don't address mental illness within our community. Or we'll go to the pastor, no shade, Dennis. We'll go to the pastor and pray about it, but won't go see a therapist and get medication for it.
That's true.
And so I want to talk about the health care, because now we're seeing the opium epidemic. In the 80s, it was the crack, and nobody cared about our hood or our communities. Now it's a health care scare. I'm just saying, am I the only one who's been noticing that? But when our aunts and cousins and mamas and daddies was strung out on crack, it was criminal. And so when we talk about health care, we talk about mental illness and things, this is why I need for y'all to be attached to the conversation, because these are policies that you're going to be voting in. This is why it's important for you to know before you go. Because see, they'll throw Pookie in prison for 10 pounds of weed, but the little heroin drug dealer addict is going to get rehab.
Hospital.
That's what I'm saying. Treatment, rehab. And there you go. So the moral of the story is healthcare is a major part of this. Mental health care is a major part of this. And I'll ask questions, but I'm going to say this. If you are suffering silently from a mental health issue, I suffer from anxiety. It took me forever for them to find the right medicine for me. I'm just going to keep it a beam with y'all. I tell people all the time, I am the face of mental illness. I suffer from anxiety. If you've been traumatized, sexually assaulted, this is the time for you to get what you need so you can be the best you and be great on purpose.
I do suffer from anxiety. It's fairly terrible. But just, there's a lot of factors aside from, just what's going on. It could be, right at home. You can have your parents saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're fine. You just, you're working yourself up for no reason. So it's also not just what's going on around you. It could be your own family. They're trying to downplay that there might be something.
Oh, well, in the black family, we don't talk about mental illness.
At all.
We don't even talk about being sexually assaulted. We don't talk about stuff. And you don't talk about what goes on in this house stays in this house. That's why half of us almost crazy now. Because of those mentalities. Go ahead, Robin.
And there's also with the differences in how things are, handled within our legal system.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had the unfortunate event to be being able to go spend a little while in a county jail, and I was in there for assault. There was a lady who was in there for assault as well, but she was white.
Mm-hmm.
I was in there for almost 4 months. She was in there for 3 days.
The next conversation piece is social justice, meaning distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privileges within a society. Ira.
Well, I mean, from my experiences, I can just keep it real simple for you. That coming up in the music industry, I realized early on that ownership is the key to real wealth. If you don't own something, you'll never be wealthy at the end of the day. You want to be your own boss. Even if you work at a gas station, you want it to be your gas station.
Mm-hmm.
You ownership, that's the best way I can put it. If you look at any industry in the world, the people that's the wealthiest is the people that own it. Whether it's music, whether it's oil companies, phone companies, anything, the owner is the person that gets the money. So and it's easy to start your own business. You can go to the courthouse for $45 and register you a small business.
Word.
So ownership is my motto. Own it.
Ira is so on it because here's the thing. As an African American community, we get so vested in shoes, name brands, cars, everything but the right thing. Yet, we don't have savings accounts, life insurance, college tuition for our children or grandchildren. We don't think about wealth because we weren't taught to think that way. We weren't conditioned to think that way. Nobody told us that good credit will take you far. College students, because I know they sending y'all all type of credit card applications right about now. Y'all better throw them all away. Right? And so what happens is, because we're so accustomed to wearing the Jordans, I shout out to Michael Jordan, one of the best to ever do it, but I have never bought my son a pair of Jordans. And I'm not. Because here's the reason why. I have yet to see Jordan in the community talking about any of our issues. But y'all line up at the mall for his shoes. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm not even, and I might get AP, my security, you're going to have to run me out to the car after I say this. I'm not even a King James fan. But at least LeBron did a school. You feel me? So we have to start making the people who we put on pedestals, the actresses, the celebrities, the musicians, we have to Ira, Cap. I'm with Cap, I'm taking the knee. You see what I'm saying? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I want y'all to be more conscious on who it is.
Money is our money powerful.
Absolutely.
from the South, Birmingham, Alabama. My great-grandparents left, it was 7 of them, left them 80 acres of land apiece. 5 brothers, 2 sisters. All the brothers, including my grandfather, blew the 80 acres of land. On clothes, on women, on buzz. And he didn't leave me anything. Didn't leave my father anything. Barely even know his name. So I had to change my mindset to make it to the point where I'm going to grind as hard as I can so my children's grandchildren can remember who Dennis Williams mentioned.
And what I have here, I made my assistant print out you guys' election and send it to my hotel room. Y'all have governor election this year. Bill. Shooty. I knew it said Shooty. Shooty. I'm just like Shooty. That's why I said Republican. Then you have Democratic Gretchen Whitmer. Then you got Lieutenant Government. Then you got Secretary of State, Attorney General, United States Senator, 6-year term. 27th District State Senator, 4-year term, 48th District Representative and State Legislator, 2-year term, 49th District Representative and State Legislator, 2-year term, Genesee County, 50th District Representative, 51st District Representative.
And I would add one too. We got a lady running for circuit court judgeship, Tabitha Marsh.
Okay.
She's running against a Governor Snyder appointee, just her and him. So it ain't too much to choose from. It's a one-on-one battle. It's Governor Snyder's person and Tabitha Marsh for a circuit court judge. We need more black circuit court judges, so they won't just keep sending our young boys from high school straight to prison, no leeway in between. We need judges that understand our communities too. So we gotta vote for the judges we want to represent us as well.
We, and I'm not gonna say you, I'm gonna say we, because it's we the people. We understand the significance of voting people into office. See, what happens is, when President Obama was running for president the first term, as people of color and minorities, we showed up at the polls, right? Oh yeah, we won't change. Yeah, President Obama gonna be the first. My president is black. We was Jeezying up and everything, right? Right. We showed up at the polls. But then there came another election and we didn't show up. So this is how the Republicans and Snyder got into office, because we didn't show up for that election, but we showed up for the presidential election. And I said all of that to say this: it's a domino effect. It starts with your local government. You should be so much more concerned with the local government than what you are with the presidential or the government that's on the East Coast with me in D.C. Because here's the thing: Michigan pays the highest car insurance, right? In the country. And the reason why y'all paying this high insurance, and I almost cussed, high insurance, is because y'all voted in these legislators. And so they came to the table and they said, you know what? This big business backed me up. This insurance company backed me up. So whatever they want, they gonna get. And this is why you're paying high insurance. And this is why you're paying the high water bills. And this is why we have lead in our cities.
Let's talk about it. I wanna talk about it. On the Tyra Hill Show. Let's talk about it. Tyra Hill Show.